Hey, yo, what up, what up, what up? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's happening, y'all? It's your man, it's your boy, Alpha the First One. Shout out to the graveyard shift. Shout out to the night shift. Shout out to them boys working on the road. I ain't gonna forget about you. Shout out to the plumbers out there. You know, I seen something in LA where there was a big old water pipe burst. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to DWP. You know, shout out to them boys working on power lines. It's gonna be a hot summer, y'all. It's gonna be hot, man. I'm in Southern California. I know y'all might be on the East Coast. Some of y'all might be overseas and y'all getting y'all fall, but I'm telling you, it's gonna be a hot one, man. This winter we had what 1 day of snow, one time I think that was it, and that snow was called trash snow. So, shout out to all the people who make these countries work. I will never forget about you. I never will. No matter how big I get, no matter how small I get. If you're new to my channel, the channel is called E-Ways Dating Tips by Alpha the First One, E-Ways Dating Tips by A11, or just E-Ways Dating Tips. I am Alpha the First One. I am an author and a philosopher. I wrote a book about dating and mating. You can check out my channel. I break all that down. All right, so I'm just going to go right into the game tonight. I'm going to get into it. This is a very, very important topic. And essentially, the name of this topic tonight that we got to talk about, this is very important. If I could tell y'all one thing, if y'all want to look at one video that will help you out, that will really, really, some would say save your life, it's going to be this one tonight. This is the topic. And essentially, I did a short video on this. You need to check it out. But the topic tonight is the Cuckold War. Absolutely. There's a cuckold war being waged right now. Now, the good news is the cuckolds are losing. They are losing. So I'm just going to give you the positive. But let me tell you how we get to this part. I got to break it down. All right. And so essentially, sit back and relax. Put me on some headphones. You should be what? Doing something. Go for a walk. Change your transmission fluid if you need to do it. Hey, I'm building a fence right now. I got to build a fence. I got to put in 10 big ass poles in the ground. It's been a motherfucker. It's been a workout. I got to do like 4 hours a day because it's like a 4 hour workout, literally, on my arms and my legs and everything. So please, when you listen to me, remember, I keep it raw, rough, and real. I'm not going to PC it. If YouTube shut me down, so be it. I had a channel shut down before. Remember, they don't want you talking about the solution. They just only want you talking about the problem. All right, so let's get into the cuckold war because essentially a lot of you might be wondering, Alpha, what are you talking about? I did a video, a short video called The Coming Cuckold War, and it's here. It's here. There is a cuckold war coming. I also did a video called The Woman versus Woman War Has Begun. Y'all need to check that out on my channel. I did a video on that. But essentially, the cuckold war, in order for you to understand the cuckold war, I need to give you the definition of a cuckold. All right, because a lot of people are confused on that word. They're throwing that word around on the alt-right and alt-left. Yes, there is an alt-right and an alt-left. And believe it or not, every day they're both sounding the same, looking the same. And I told you, what's the one difference between the alt-left and the alt-right? There's just one. It's not economics. It's not law. It's not immigration. It's not geopolitics. It's just one thing only. The alt-right does not want to do baby deletion. The alt-left will. That's it. I also did a video called The Blue Women versus the Red Women. Check that video out. And that's essentially the difference between Team Blue and Team Red Women. Team Red Women will have it. Team Blue will not. That's it. That's what it's come down to. One simple thing. Life. That's it. Either you believe it's life or you don't. So when we talk about the word cuckoldry, they keep mucking that word up because they call everybody a cuck. You hear them say, if you don't believe in my politics, you're a cuck. You know, if you're trying to say something that's smarter than what I'm saying, you're cucking me. See, that's a little internet jargon they use. Cuck, cuck. You're cucking. Why you cucking? See, it used to be simping. We still say simping, but some of the extreme peoples are saying cucking. So I'm going to give you what the definition is. There's two basic definitions of the word cuckoldry. All right? There is what you call sexual fetish cuckoldry, and you have parental cuckoldry. All right? Let me get the easy one out the way first. Sexual fetish cuckoldry is when a man is in a long-term relationship with a woman. Long term. I don't care if he's married to the woman or shacking, as they say, officially or unofficially. Essentially, that man has full knowledge that his wife is being banged out by another man. And he approves of it. Doesn't matter what benefits he gets. Some of the cucks are like to say, well, I get to fuck other women, so it's okay. It's even Steven. No, because you're still being cucked. You still allowing another man to fuck your wife. That's not dominant. That can never be dominant. If you go to anybody in the BDSM community or just people in general, any man that lets another man touch his quote unquote wife or significant other, long term girlfriend, shack queen, whatever you want to call it, okay? If another man comes into the picture, you are not the dominant man. You are the lesser man, period. No way around it. He becomes the bull, you become the cuck, and she becomes the hot wife. That's well known, well documented sexual fetish cuckoldry. We got some game guys online. That's why I kind of got away from them, where they're in quote unquote open relationships. Now, when they say I'm in an open relationship, the first thing I say is, can your wife be fucked by another man? If they say yes, I go into Charlie Brown mode. That's it. There's no point in even arguing with him at that point. See what I'm saying? Charlie Brown mode. Go look at my video. I go straight into Charlie Brown mode. Womp, 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 womp. I don't hear anything else he has to say. Because I know I'm talking to a cuckold. I don't care how he tries to frame it, mix it, spin it, try to subvert it. He is a cuckold, period. End of story. I don't really need to hear too much more from him. So there's sexual fetish cuckoldry when you let another man fuck your main girl, your main wife, long-term girlfriend, wife, your long-term boo, whatever they want to call it. If that girl is quote-unquote supposed to be your main chick and another man is fucking her, you are a quote-unquote sexual fetish cuckold. That's easy. All right, and I'm not judging you for it. That's not the purpose of me giving these definitions. If you are a happy man in a cuckold relationship and you find fulfillment being a sexual fetish cuckold, I wish you all the best. See, some men like the abuse. There are people who get off on the abuse. That's what the BDSM stands for. Look those names up. Some people get off on that. They have a fetish for being abused. Some men find that highly erotic when their wife or significant other, their long-term boo, is dominating them, is humiliating them. That's what it is. You're being humiliated. You know, they'll try to spin it and say, well, I get to sleep with other women. Yeah, but she's getting fucked by other men. And those other men are looking at you saying, huh, my girl ain't getting fucked by no other man, but I'm fucking your woman. Pop quiz. Are you a sexual fetish cuckold if your wife or girlfriend or significant other is cheating on you? The simple answer is no. The secret to that question is in the word cheating. If you don't know your significant other is sleeping with another man, that's what cheating is. So you're not a cuckold. Now, once you find out, if you say, I just found out that somebody's banging my long-term chick, somebody's banging my wife or girlfriend, At that point, if you stay around, you are a sexual fetish cuckold. Because you know somebody's fucking your girl. You don't know, you don't know. All right? That's another thing cucks will try to do. Well, what if you don't know about it? I mean, you cuck too. No, it's not the same because that's the definition of cheating. You understand? Think of it like a bank account. If I give you permission to go into my bank account and take my money, you're not stealing from me. I gave you permission to do it. But if you go into my bank account and I don't know about it, you are stealing from me. Same concept applies to cheating. If you give a woman permission to go get fucked by another man, she's not cheating on you. She's cuckolding you. You are accepting your cuckold status with that woman. You are submitting to her. You are giving up dominance. You understand what I'm saying? If you don't know, you don't know. All right, so that's the easy one. Let's get into the hard one. So now you have what? Parental cuckoldry. Parent cuckoldry. Now, parent cuckoldry is actually the original name of the word cuckoldry because it comes from the cuckoo bird that's in Europe, West Europe, and some parts of East Europe. And it's not just a cuckoo bird, but the cuckoo bird is very famous for this. What the cuckoo bird does is both the male and the female will get it on. She gets pregnant, and the female will find a bird called a weed wobbler. Weed wobbler. Now, it doesn't always have to be a weed wobbler, but they tend to pick the weed wobbler because through evolution, the weed wobbler eggs looks very similar to the quote-unquote cuckoo bird eggs. They look very similar. See, if she goes lays that egg in a crow's nest or a blue jay nest or I don't know, a robin's nest, that bird probably gonna kill that egg. Because I don't know all the avian birds, shells and stuff. I don't know all them. I don't know. Shout out to my veterinarian. She's a avian specialist, but she makes some money working on dogs. But her specialty is avian. She really likes birds. If you ever talk to my veterinarian, she'll go on and on about birds all day long. That's what she loves to do. But hey, girl got to pay the bills, so she does what? Dogs all day. Dogs and horses. And where I live at, there's a lot of dogs, horses, chickens, hogs, all that good stuff. Shout out to the farmers. Shout out to the homesteaders. All right. So essentially, she lays the egg in the weed wobbler's nest, and the weed wobbler female will come back, or male, because they both co-parent. They both take care of their child, and they both raise the child until the egg hatch. They can't tell the difference, right? Sometimes the cuckoo bird will do something really nasty and sinister and evil. Sometimes she will kick out the weed wobbler's eggs if they haven't hatched. Oh yeah, it's pretty nasty. Sometimes she will pick up those eggs, throw them out, and then she will lay her egg real fast. I mean, she got like the fastest pregnancy time of popping it out of all the bird. That's what she evolved to do. And she's very slick and cunning, but it's some evil shit. And so essentially the weed wobblers, they get back to their nest because the weed wobbler's name comes from them weaving a nest. This is some brutal shit, y'all. I'm sorry. I got to talk about this because no one never breaks this down. This shit is evil, man. Nature is a lot of things that nature does. If you look at it from a human standpoint, one can say it's evil or good. But in nature don't look at it like that. Nature says this is what has to happen for this species to survive. See, I think Charles Darwin didn't do a good job of explaining his theory of evolution. And there's a lot of holes in this theory, by the way. There's a lot of holes. All right, it's just a theory. That's just that. It's a theory. There's so many scientific holes in his theory that where a lot of people in science are starting to consider to throw it out because there's so many variations in science, behavior, and morphology to where people like this shit don't make any sense. Like, dude, you're like skipping a whole bunch of steps or a whole bunch of species, and it just doesn't add up. It just doesn't add up. But he did try. Charles Darwin did try, and he did make one, I would say, one major contribution where he said that the changes that the species adapt is not something that one can see it as quote unquote good or bad. It's just something that the species will adapt to survive. You see what I'm saying? So the weed wobbler adapted the behavior of building a nest to increase its fitness. That's what the word survival of fitness means. Not like who's the strongest, not like who can throw the longest football, or shoot a three or dunk a basketball. No, fitness in terms of increasing their opportunity to survive. It's not also violence either. There's a lot of animals that develop defense, such as camouflage, such as hibernation, such as learning how to hide, such as being nocturnal. Lions are very nocturnal, believe it or not. They sleep maybe 14, 17 hours a day. They hunt at night. That's something that they develop over time because it increases their opportunity to do what? To secure a kill on the herd. A lot of the kills lions make be at night, and you don't really get to see them because they do it so fast, and when the sun comes up, there's a carcass on the ground. But every now and then, shout out to the Nature Channel, they will get a kill on in broad daylight, and there's been some fantastic kills. There's been kills by lions trying to make a kill, those big horns. So the weed wobbler's fitness, they evolved a behavior of building a nest. And the cuckoo bird evolved over time to basically be a parasite. The cuckoo bird is a bum. Or you can say it's a genius. See? Their behavior to fuck each other, have the fun of fucking, and then her going off throwing the baby on them. Some can say that's brilliant. Some can say that's genius. Some can say that's pure evil. Science says, oh well, that's just the way it gotta be. Sometimes the weed wobbler will catch the cuckoldry. She will catch it. The female or the male will catch it. Because if the female cuckoo bird goes to the nest and does it, and the weed wobbler sees it as she's doing it, she will usually kick the egg out. She'll throw the egg out. She will catch it. And so it sucks to be a cuckoo bird. Then they got to try all over again. And so essentially the cuckoo bird, it needs the weed wobbler. The weed wobbler don't need it. I'm going to say that again. The cuckoo bird needs the weed wobbler. The weed wobbler don't need the cuckoo bird. It's a parasitic relationship. It's not symbiotic. Yes, I'm using big words tonight. Sorry, y'all. I'm kind of outing myself in my education level, but y'all know these words. Symbiotic means a harmonious relationship between two organisms. All right, that's all it is. Two people can have a symbiotic relationship, such as a marriage. A marriage can be symbiotic. Both people are working together to make their lives better. That's a symbiotic relationship. But in strictly in terms of biology and evolutionary, it's usually going to be something where both people are going to benefit openly. All right, like you have situations such as oxpeckers and bull oxes. If you go online, there's an oxpecker that likes to suck ticks and blood off of bull oxes in the wild, bisons and herd animals, not just bull oxes. They do it to giraffes, deers. And so those oxpecker birds will hang on the bull of the back and clean its mane by eating the ticks that gets on the mane of whatever the herd animal is. That's a symbiotic relationship. The bull gets its mane clean, it gets ticks off of it, parasites, which keeps it free from diseases, and the oxpecker gets a free good meal. I mean, hey, blood is blood in the wild. That's good. That's good protein for an oxpecker bird. Y'all should take a look at that on the wild channels, man. That shit really is fascinating to see how nature will operate with one another. But in the case of the weed wobbler and the cuckoo bird, it's not symbiotic, it's parasitic. Now, to my knowledge, I don't know. I'm not a quote unquote evolutionary biologist. I have a degree in biology, but I'm not in the field working as a, you know, field animal biologist. I'm not doing all that, anthropologist and all that stuff. So I don't know if there's a situation where the weed wobbler and the cuckoo bird are having a symbiotic relationship. I have no idea. I haven't done all the research on that. I'm just giving you the flyover language, okay? All right, so please don't hold me to it. But to the flyover language is basically simple. That is a parasitic relationship. The cuckoo bird does not win. I mean, the cuckoo bird wins, the weed wobbler loses. The weed wobbler bird does not win. Because eventually that cuckoo bird egg is going to hatch. And what happens is when that cuckoo bird egg hatches, if it hatches before the weed wobbler's egg, that cuckoo bird baby will kill the weed wobbler babies. Yes, infanticide will happen in the nest. And see, the thing about it is when the cuckoo bird hatches, it's a little bit bigger than the weed wobbler's babies, just slightly. It's enough to fool the mother into thinking that it is what? A weed wobbler bird. But it's not. And it goes straight into parasitic behavior because it will back all the other birds' eggs out of the nest, or that cuckoo bird baby will peck the other birds to death. It's very brutal. Very brutal. That's its instinct. Its instinct is to eliminate all the competition for food. And you'll be able to see this happen because the mother and the father, the weed wobblers, they will start feeding that baby more than the others because it will open its mouth wider and louder and sing louder for food. And they do this 24/7. Crickets, grasshoppers, snakes, all that stuff. They are very excellent parents. This subject is very brutal, y'all. I'm sorry. This is a very ugly subject. I hate to bring it up, but we got to talk about this. Because everybody laughs at this shit, and there's some very, very serious consequences going on in the Cuckold War. I'm actually getting kind of upset just talking about this. Think about that. This bird is in the nest of two parents, and this bird has killed their babies, and now this bird is growing in the nest, and they're feeding the baby, right? That killed their babies. This is some brutal shit. There's a movie, I can't think of the name of it, but I'm going to try to Google it right quick. And it came out about maybe I think it's called Vibrant or Vibrant. It was the guy who played in the movie The Social Network, the main star, that guy. And it was an alien movie talking about cuckoldry. That this alien species comes to planet Earth and it cuckolds human beings to take care of its offspring. Yeah, I think it's called Vibrant or Vibrant. Check that out, man. Just look up alien cuckold movie. It's a very, very deep movie. Very deep movie. So this subject is a very, very deep subject. It'll make you think like, damn. And eventually that cuckoo bird will grow in that nest, and it literally takes up the whole nest. You'll see it. And the weed wobblers, I mean, you could just look at them, and they're exhausted. They're trying to feed this bird 24/7. And when you see it, when you go look at the videos on it, the bird is like 2 times the size of its so-called cuckold parents. And eventually the bird leaves, and in some cases, the bird will kill its own cuckold parents. Brutal shit. Just pure evil, or just evolutionary science. Science doesn't care. All right? Nature does not give a shit. I told y'all, Mother Nature's a bitch. And Father Time is undefeated. So when I talk about this cuckold war that I'm talking about, that's exactly what I'm talking about. There are some very evil people out here, especially men, who are trying to force men into taking care of children that are not theirs. And they're trying to force men into letting other men fuck their wives, okay, without their consent. Once again, I'm not judging you if you want to be a willing participant in the bull hot wife cuckold relationship. If you want to do that, knock yourself out. I don't care. There's no evilness going on there because y'all all willfully participated. But now we have a shaming campaign trying to go against men who don't want to participate in it. Somehow that means you don't have a masculinity. Somehow you're insecure. You don't have the empathetic superpowers that we're now pushing nowadays. You're not an empath on this empath level of security of male because you won't let another man fuck your wife. This is what's going on. And if you can't laugh it off in public while someone's banging your wife, somehow you're the most insecure man in public. How dare you? This is a part of the Cuckold War. Let's talk about the people who are waging this war, specifically the men. I'll get to the women, but let's talk about the men. Number one, you have the sexual fetish men. You have the sexual fetish men. These are the men who are too embarrassed to accept their status as cuckolds, so they want to shame other men to join them so they can feel more happy about what they're doing. Yes, this is the man when he gets on a panel or a talk show or anything, he tries to shift the conversation to make it seem like the man with the strong backbone, that there's something wrong with that man. There must be something inferior about him that he doesn't want to let another man fuck his wife. What's wrong with him? He doesn't have enough empathy. He's not in touch with his manhood. He's not in touch with his security. Why is he worrying about another man fucking his wife? How dare him? That's the sexual fetish cuckold. He ain't got no game if he won't let another man fuck his wife. That's the sexual fetish cuckold male. Then you have the pro-black simps. Yeah, I gotta talk about them. These guys are really easy to find. They're gonna be wearing red, black, and green dashikis. They might be involved in the nation or with the Moors. Some of them are heavily in the quote-unquote black church. They will use the most powerful shaming language ever to get you to be what? A parental cuckold. See, the sexual fetish cuckoldry, it goes on in the black community, but not that much. It's a very, very small few. And yes, men fuck other men's wives in the black community, but it's usually on some deceptive cheating shit. Meaning the wife is cheating on her husband. That does happen. So that's once again, if you don't know, that doesn't make you a cuckold. If you know and you say yes, you are a cuckold. That doesn't really happen in the black community. Most of the time, when a guy find out somebody fucked his wife, she pretty much gone. Very few black men are gonna sit around and take that shit. Very, very few. I mean, I would probably say less than 1%, if I could tell you offhand. But it does happen. There are black men who are cuckolds. They like to be cuckolded by black men and even white men. You have that situation. Look that up. It's a very, very small group of black men, but they're into the abuse. But what is rampant in the black community is paternity cuckold. That has been shamed into normalization, and a lot of black men are fighting back. Shout out to them. A lot of black men have said no more of this shit because they've tried to make being a stepfather as a better way than being the biological father. That can never be a better way, ever. So they use the church. They will use the ideal of slavery. They will use the pseudo logic of unity. They would do. They would say anything and everything. Jokes. Try to laugh. Try to make it seem like you're crazy. That you don't want to take care of another man's child. Well, look, man, she made a mistake. Yeah, Nuck Nuck went to prison, but you know how it is. Everybody need a dad. You see what I'm saying, brother? That's how they talk, the pro-black cuckolds. Absolutely. So you have the pro-black cuckolds, which is pushing parental cuckolds, and you have the pseudo game guys pushing both. The pseudo game guys are pushing sexual fetish cuckoldry, and they're pushing parental cuckoldry. They're very dangerous. These are the guys that they will always try to find a way to blame the man and make it seem like he's insecure for not wanting to participate in sexual fetish cuckoldry and definitely in parental cuckoldry. These men are prototypical hyena males. They are full-blown hyena males. One of the ways you can notice it, they will always try to make everything about a laugh. see how I made that laugh? They'll have a loud pitched laugh. They'll try to make everything about. They'll try to be kind of exuberant and outlandish with their laugh. They will even go into shouting matches to make it seem like that what they're saying is the most dominant thing, even though they're advocating for a submissive position. You might hear these game guys say something like, "Oh, I'm not gonna take her phone number. I'm gonna give her mine and wait for her to call me." That is a submissive man's position. Period. Anytime you let the woman take the lead on anything, that is a sub hyena man position. No way out of that. Dominant men will always take the lead. Here's my phone. Here's my phone number. I'm going to call you. That's where the woman gives her phone number and the man takes it and he calls her. And he'll say, "Look for my phone number. This is my phone number. I will call you." It will be a mutual exchange, or it'll be one-way exchange. Meaning they will mutually exchange phone numbers so that she knows that's his number. Or he'll take her number and then that'll be that. He'll call her and now, she may know him and she may not. But a dominant man would never say, "Here's my number and that's that. Walk off." He's not going to do that. That's a submissive man, hyena man position. No way out of that. It'll be, "Let me get your phone number. Here's mine. I'm going to call you first." That's dominance. That's always dominance. That can never be submissive. That can never be lesser. That can never be insecure. That can never be game. You get what I'm saying? You can't have game if you're waiting on a woman to call you. That means you are afraid of rejection. That's an insecure position. So you got to watch that because the pseudo game guys, they'll try to sell you on being a sexual fetish cuckold, right? They'll try to say that's game because you get to fuck somebody else's girl or fuck another woman while someone's railing out your girl. They'll say that's a next level of game. No, it's not. That's a weak man. That's a hyena man level of game. That's a lower man level of game. That's the only way he can get access to other women is if he offered his woman to other dominant men. See, if he comes across another hyena male and they both exchange wives, that's just what you call open poly orgy fucking. That's hyena male behavior. That's what they do in the hyena clan. But if you go amongst quote unquote lions and dominant lions clan, they don't do that. There are situations where there might be 4 lions or 2 lions running a pride, but most likely in most situations is one dominant male lion dominating all the female lioness in the pride. In the hyena clan, it is a one dominant female dominating the sub males. The pseudo game guys are sub males. The only way they can get access to other women is to offer their woman. And when they do that, that exposes them to what? Sexual fetish cuckoldry and parental cuckoldry. Yeah, that other man fuck your girl and nut up in her. That's your baby now. You got to pay for it. But they'll laugh that off as if that's some next level game shit. So the pseudo game guys, they are definitely waging the cuckold war big time. And they're losing, by the way. Shout out to the guys who've been calling out the game guy, the pseudo game guys. Next you have the Christian simps. Now this one is a very powerful group. The Christian simps slash cuckolds, they're using what? Religion. Now I say Christian because for the most part, most religions outside of Christianity, they have checks and balances on women. I don't know all the details of Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, etc. Judaism. I don't know all the details of those quote unquote religions. All right, but I do know they do have some small element of checks and balances. They don't openly campaign for men to be cuckolds. They just don't. Because most of the time they don't openly campaign for women to be what? Single mothers. But in Christian religion now, that's one of the reasons why I left the Christian religion, because it's just too weak. In terms of dating and mating, it is the weakest one of all. You know, I would argue Wicca, Wicca and Satanism is stronger than Christian religion in terms of dating and mating. The Christian religion, the way it's being taught and the way it's being pushed now, is a full-blown cuckold religion. There's no way out of it. The entire story is about cuckoldry. What is it? So-called Mary, who was a virgin, got pregnant, and Joseph had to do what? Raise that child. That's cuckoldry. That is cuckoldry. Whether that story is true or not doesn't matter. Joseph raised a child that wasn't his genetic legacy. A lot of Christian cucks don't like that, boy. Whoo, boy, they will come out heavy against you. You heathen, you this. I can't believe you call the Son of God earthly father a cuckold. They do it, but that's what happened. Evolutionary biology doesn't care whether you like it or not. That's not your genetic legacy. You taking care of that child, you are a parental cuckold. And so they're waging the war by using the church to tell you what? You got to forgive this woman of all her transgressions. So what if she did OnlyFans? So what if she was a hooker? So what if she was a sex worker? So what if she had 2 baby daddies before she met you? You'll be the third simp that saves the day. That's a good Christian thing to do. You buying that deal? Then you have the panda bear simps. The panda bear simps. You'll know a panda bear simp because if you get into a conversation with a panda bear simp, every time you try to hold the woman accountable for what she's done, that's been confirmed, cannot be denied, convicted in court, on record, on camera, he's going to find some kind of way to take the blame off the woman. He's going to twist it and turn it on you. He loves to use a lot of hyena laughter, a lot of jokes and gestures, sometimes body posturing. I've studied some of these guys. You'll see them getting up, jigging around, shaking around, trying to rile the woman's feelings up. They're pandering to the woman. It's almost like the old school when the king would say, send me the royal food to make me happy. Then the royal fool will come out with his bells and fall on his face and, humiliate himself, and the king would feel better about today. I won't do it today. I won't kill this guy today. I'll laugh it off today. We'll talk about it tomorrow. That's what panda bears do. They jump in front of a woman and they make jokes and laugh and try to make you look like the lesser man, but they are the lesser man, but they're pandering for the woman's acceptance. That woman can never be, quote unquote, wrong in his eyes. And if you're looking at that nice, lovely E-waist art, that's what the panda bear looks like. A full-blown hyena male. So that's what's going on. Then you have the last one, which in my opinion is the most powerful one, is the mainstream. The mainstream cuckold male. What is the mainstream cuckold male? These are the people that you see on TV, such as Dr. Phil, Steve Harvey, the guy that's on Dave Ramsey. I can't think of his name, boy. The guy who's the psychologist, and even Dave Ramsey, he's one. He's a mainstream simp. These are the people who have a lot of mainstream credibility, a lot of mainstream visibility, and they will use that as a way to publicly, openly shame you for not wanting to take care of another man's child. Now, the one good thing about the mainstream simps is they really haven't got on board with the sexual fetish cuckoldry. I will give them that. Some of them talk about it, but they usually do it in a way where they say this is an alternative lifestyle. It'll be an alternative lifestyle show. So it'll be kind of like laughs and jokes about it, and they'll bring on people who in the lifestyle or BDSM, But that parental cuckoldry, that's 24/7. They push that heavily every fucking day. And they do it in a way where it seems legitimate. Because they'll say, all these single, lovely women out here, why these women can't find a good man? And then they'll talk to one of the women in the crowd, which is a hand select person, by the way. And they'll tell her, what's your name? My name is Susan. I'm 31 years old. I'm divorced. I got 3 children. I got my degree. I work on such and such human resource department. And I'm having trouble in the dating area. There are no men that they can't handle a woman like me. And everybody say, oh, look at these men. I take care of my children. They all in school. And everybody sits there and shake and clap their head like a bunch of monkeys. Or a bunch of clapping seals, Or they become yeah girls. Look at my video. I got a video called Yeah Girls and Yep Men. Yeah girl, yup, uh-huh, yeah girl, uh-huh, yup, uh-huh. All the while, that woman got the worst deal on the planet, and they sitting up there looking for a simp to come take that bad deal. Shout out to the late great Kevin Samuels. I didn't agree with Kevin Samuels on many things, many things. But you know what I agree with him on? Kevin Samuels did a great job of showing the mainstream media that a lot of women that y'all put on camera, when y'all yep men them and yeah girl them, those women are really bad deals. He did a good job of that. Because he would say, what? You can't make this shit up. That was his line. He would say, you can't make this shit up. And he wasn't lying. You can't make it up. Go back and look at some of those women he was talking to. Those same women would be on what? Mainstream media. But the mainstream media is dying now. That's dying. So those women don't have nowhere to go to sell that bad deal. So they got to go to the internet. And Kevin Samuels was able to show people, look at this bad deal that's coming down in society from these women. I think the famous Average at Best woman, she was a single mother. And he would tell people, look at the audacity of these women. Single mothers, God knows how much debt. They're all 30 and older. Some was younger, by the way. He had some of them on there was under 25 with 2-3 baby daddies. I mean, that's not uncommon. But they still had the mindset of what? That they were entitled to his classic high value man. That was his title, not mine. I'll give him credit for that. So that's what's been going on the mainstream. They've been doing the same thing. The mainstream media cuckolds are the guys who sit on TV, daytime shows, and they sell bad deals like that. Single mothers. This is the cuckold war that I was telling y'all that's going on right now. This is it. And the reason why they're upset is because all of you have decided to do what? You don't want to be a cleanup man. A lot of you have said, I'm not doing it. I don't care how y'all grease her up. When I say the word greased up, if you go to a used car lot, there is a guy that's called a grease man. They might call him a detail man. In the country, we call him a grease man. And essentially, every used car lot has a guy. His number one job is to detail the cars, meaning he got to grease them up. He got to make these used cars look, sound, and smell the best that they can ever be, because they got to get them off the lot. See, if y'all didn't know this, every time that car sits on the lot at the end of the year, they got to do what? They got to pay taxes on that car. Look that up. So you imagine having 200 some cars on a lot at the end of the year and you ain't selling them, you ain't going to be in business for too long. And most used cars have horrible financing. We all know that. And most used cars have bad ratings, meaning all used cars are not the same. Toyotas are known for being good used cars. Fords are not. Ford cars, that is. Ford trucks are known for being good used trucks. Foreign trucks, such as Toyota trucks, you don't want them. The parts are very expensive for Toyota used trucks. Very expensive. Once they go bad, that's a wrap. But the used car salesman always have a grease man. Always. And his job is to grease up them used cars so the sucker can come on the lot and buy it. It is what it is. A lot of you have decided not to buy these used cars. A lot of you men have said, I don't want that deal. I don't care how much you grease her up. I don't care how much weight you make her lose with Ozempic. I don't care how much makeup you put on. I don't care how many BBLs she get. That's a single mother, and I'm not taking that deal. I think that happened on one of them shows. Wasn't there a black guy? He was being shamed by the pro-black crowd. He told that woman, I'm not taking no single mother. I'm not settling for one. And that happened about, what, 4 or 5 years ago? I think that's when it happened. I guess he was on one of those mainstream reality shows. And everybody gave him slack. Nobody's saying that now. If a man comes out now and says, I'm not taking no single mother, they cannot stop anything that man said at that point. They used to shame that down. They can't do it no more. That's why I told you up front, they are losing the war. They still waging it, but they're losing the war. Because a lot of you are saying, I don't want that deal. I don't care what you say. I don't have any shame in the words that you're trying to shame me with. Because at the end of the day, when the camera goes off, I'm going to be the man sitting there taking care of this baby that's not my genetic legacy. Period. This is a part of the Cuckold War. And so a lot of the people now that have been waging the Cuckold War, they can't hide anymore because what? We're starting to hold women accountable. See, that's a big thing right there. If you want to identify one of these type of men I talked about earlier, a church simp, a pro-black simp, a sexual fetish cuckold simp, a pseudo game simp, or a mainstream simp, one good way of doing it is ask them this question. Ask them, can you name one thing, just one thing, that women do wrong right now? Can you name one thing? I asked a guy that about 3 days ago. I was listening to his podcast. I didn't come up, but I asked it in his chat. I said, can you name one thing that a woman would do wrong? Boy, he just lost frame. He got upset. He said, you know what? I can't do it. I'm not going to name anything women do wrong. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to say women do anything wrong. That's exactly what he said. I said, that's it. That's all I need to know. I don't need to listen no more. Why? Because I'm listening to what? A panda bear. He's a panda bear. Panda bear, cuckold simp. No doubt about it. I have to turn it off. See, that's the big thing. They can't hold women accountable for their actions. They can't do it. A woman can be convicted of a crime, any kind of crime, and it can be no doubt that she did it. If you ask one of these men, are you willing to hold that woman accountable? They're going to say, hell no. It's still the patriarchy fault. They'll say something like that. Or why wasn't her father involved? It's his fault that she did this. Or where was her husband at? Or why she don't have a husband? It's because of the men. The men put her in this condition. They're going to find up any kind of excuse. They will always blame a man for what a woman does. Always. That's how you know you're dealing with one of these cuckold simp war simps. These cuckold war simps, you'll know this when you try to hold a woman accountable. And I'm not talking about raging on a woman or yelling at a woman or being bitter and resentful towards a woman. I'm just saying calling truth to power. If a woman does something fucked up, it's nothing wrong to say that she did something fucked up. But to a cuckold war simp, he gonna say, you shouldn't be saying that about that woman. You shouldn't be saying anything bad about that woman. It's still men's fault. And they love to say, oh, well, you ain't got no game. I seen this on another guy podcast. He's one of those pseudo game guys. They were talking about something. They were talking about the reality of divorce. 70% of women file for divorce. And the guy, he tried to do some Jedi mind trick to make it seem like, well, since he can get laid from women, that 70% of the divorce problem is really not that significant because he's getting laid. Did you catch that? Since he's getting laid, the 70% divorce rate is not really a big problem because he's getting laid. You see what I'm saying? Totally, completely disconnected from the conversation. But they will always try to do that. They will always try to say, well, since my dick is getting wet, this must not be a problem because I'm fucking, and so that's why it's not a problem. Then when I tell them I slept with 304 women, right, and I'm still saying it's a problem, they get quiet. See that? When I tell them, yeah, I'm fucking a lot of girls too, but 70% divorce rate is a real problem caused by women, okay? There's no way out of that. Just because I'm fucking women or not ain't got nothing to do with that problem. Then they get quiet. I'm just trying to show you some of the shaming tactics that they do to try to silence men into taking the bad deal. And the great thing about it is they are losing. They are losing because you are telling them, I don't know nothing about Alpha the first one. You might never even heard of me. You may not know anything I'm talking about when you hear this broadcast. But you have came to a logical conclusion that letting somebody fuck your wife and taking care of another man's child is a bad deal. You've already done that on your own. I say bravo. I'm just telling you what's going on so you can see that you're what? Not the only one. Sometimes that happens with men. Sometimes men get to the point in life where they say, I must be the only one. That could be good or bad. I must be the only one going through this bad stuff. Most time you're not the only one. And sometimes something good might be happening. I must be the only one. Man, this is great. No, sometimes somebody else is doing the same thing too. So they're losing the Cuckold War, and it's great. It's wonderful. That's what I talk about in my book. I talk about how the systems function and what you can expect to see in the systems. And under our current unregulated GPS system, the men are not taking the bad deal. See, they need men to take the bad deal to keep things functioning. They need you to marry the single mother. They need you to participate in sexual cuckold fetish against your will. And they need you to participate in involuntary parental cuckoldry. That's the most evil part about this war, is that part right there. That part has been going on since the dawn of time, but it's now being exposed by what? DNA tests. The numbers on parental cuckoldry fraud, parental fraud, the numbers on that are so small because a lot of men are too ashamed to even go through the tests. And I get it. I understand. A lot of men look at that child and they say, I don't think that's my child. But they too ashamed to say something about it, or they might be in a financial position where they know if they go through this divorce, they're going to fall back to the bottom. Paternity fraud is a real crime. And a lot of men are suffering with that, and it's being exposed on a daily basis. And the more we talk about it, the more it puts pressure on the panda bears and the simps, because they don't have any pre-shaming language other than you just an evil monster man that don't want to take care of another man's child. That's not working anymore. Sticking your chest out saying you the dad that stepped up, that ain't working no more. Now most men look at you and say, no, you just a paternal cuckold fool. And you sticking your chest out so you can get a bad deal. So I wanted to come to y'all tonight to break this down so that you understand the people waging the war, why they're waging the war, and why you're winning. You're winning the war because a lot of you have seen the results of that. Some of you come from that. Some of you were raised by stepfathers. I didn't have a stepfather when I was growing up. Thank God. Thank God. I do think a lot of men get conditioned to be a stepfather from another man who's been a cuckold. I didn't have that. My father did not stay around. He did not accept that. All right? And no other man in the community stepped up. No other man did it. I used to always wonder why when I used to walk around, men used to quote unquote avoid my mother like the plague because my mother was a polyandrous woman. I love my mother to that, but she did what she did. And she couldn't cuckold men because most of those men didn't want to take care of me. They didn't want to take care of me and my brothers and sisters. It took me a long time to understand that because I used to be kind of angry about that. Not at my mother, just angry at the situation. It was like, why are all these men treating me like the plague? They used to treat me and my brother like the plague. You know, we were the bastard children. Now that I got older as a man, I understand it. I get it. I'm like, I get it. Those men didn't want to be cuckold. They didn't want to take on another man's child. I'm glad they didn't. So I'm not going to lie. That probably shaped my position now why I'm so anti being a parental cuckold. I wasn't raised by a stepfather. And all the men that I seen did it, they didn't like it either. And the sons that grew up under that, they didn't like it either. And I've heard, I don't know anybody, and I don't wish this on anybody. I've heard about stepfathers, quote unquote, messing with their quote unquote stepdaughters. And we know that happens to little boys too. So I definitely, I don't know anybody like that, but I find that detestable. That's awful. That's another reason why stepdaddies, in my opinion, shouldn't be doing it. You increase the risk of that situation happening. You also increase the risk of the man being resentful of the children, whether they boy or girl, that he's taking care of. I don't like it. I don't like parental cuckoldry at all. I think it should be outlawed. People say, well, you're going to have single mothers. Absolutely. If that's what it takes to get women to start being more responsible with who they sleep with, so be it. See, that's one thing about the panda bear. They cannot put any of the blame on the woman. They just say it's all on the man. The man made her a single mother. No, he did not. She chose to become one. When she said, I want to open my legs and have sex with you, knowing that I'm not married to you, knowing that I don't know too much else about you, she said, if that situation happened, I'm with it too. It takes two to tango, but the panda bears don't want to do that. They want to say it's one side. No, it's both sides. And if they do say it's both sides, they put greater emphasis on the man. No, it's equal shared problem on the woman too. She opened her legs. She wanted it. She chose him. It was consensual, non-great. She chose to become a single mother too. Some women are doing that openly now. What's that lady name? I can't think of her name. The one who said Ebony K. Williams. She didn't want to marry a bus driver. She chose to become a single mother. That's also killing the panda bears. That's tearing them up right now. Because before we would tell them, hey, some of these girls wanted to be single mothers. They wanted to be. I had a girl ask me to be her baby daddy. True story. And I'm going to be a baby daddy, but I didn't want to be one to her. But I had a girl ask me about maybe, 15? Almost 15 years ago, a girl told me she wanted me to be her baby daddy. Up front, she was honest. At that time, I wasn't really thinking like that because I was on another path. But I advocate for men being baby daddies now. I do. I'm not going to shame you if you, quote unquote, did not marry the woman that had your child. I'm not. On paper, she's technically a single mother. On paper. But if you taking care of your child, I don't consider that a single mother. Does that sound crazy? No, it doesn't. It makes perfect sense. As long as you take care of your children, I don't care how you do it. Whether you do it in marriage or out, it is what it is. But when you decide to abandon your children, now I have a problem with that. But there are some women who don't even give men a chance to take care of their children. Real talk. They don't even want the man to take care of the child. There's a whole bunch of women who try to do that. That's why men fight for what? They fight for father's rights. Absolutely. 50-50 custody. That's killing the panda bear arguments. So I'm going to wrap it up right there, y'all. As y'all see, this cuckold war, I might have to do a part two. Because then I can get into how men have been fighting back, and that's why they losing the war. I kind of mentioned a little bit. Women choosing to be single mothers, that's hurting the panda bears and the simps. The courts are now starting to award men 50-50 custody. That's hurting the panda bears and the simps. And the ideal of just shaming men for not wanting to take care of another man's child when they didn't have the pleasure of making it, that's starting to fail the panda bears and the simps. So the cuckold war is going on, but the cuckolds are losing. And I want to tell all you men out there, thank you and bravo. Keep rejecting the bad deal. Keep rejecting the bad deal. You got to do it. As y'all keep rejecting the bad deal, it's going to put more pressure on the system. And you know what comes after that. We'll talk about that next time. All right, y'all. This has been Alpha the First One. This has been the Cuckold War. Right? The Cuckold War is going on. And I broke it down who's doing it, why they doing it, and why they're losing. Check out my channel. I got other videos breaking certain things down. Nobody's going to talk like this. That's okay. I'm controversial. That's why they won't let me on the day shift. Shout out to the overnight crew. Shout out to the ladies on the ICU. Shout out to the trolls out there. We love the trolls. Don't hate on the trolls. And for everybody else,